Audio rolling. Welcome back to the Detroit is Different podcast studio. And I have someone that has been in effect, definitely a partner and big supporter of so many things. Detroit is different. And if you know anything about film, and especially international and black film, and been doing it for, decade plus time, if not more. You know what I'm saying? And seeing about different films coming to the city of Detroit and doing this film festival, then you definitely know Marshalle. Marshalle, how are you doing today?
What up, Del? Thank you for the warm welcome. I appreciate you having me.
Definitely. So the festival's coming up, the end of the month of September. What's happening? Break it down. What's happening with this festival?
Oh my goodness, we're so excited. It's September 25th through the 29th.
Okay.
We have 57 films from
57 different films from
independent all over the world.
All over the world.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We got some from the UK. We got some from Ghana, from Kenya, all across the U.S. And, of course, we got to represent Detroit. So we got some of our very own homegrown independent filmmakers from Detroit also.
Okay, so this connection to independent film, where did it build? Where did it connect? I know we've had this discussion before. What was your interest in independent films and a festival for it?
Well, it really started because of my love and my interest for storytelling and movies. And I went to my very first film festival. I'm going to date myself, that's all right, in 1999. I went to the American Black Film Festival, ABFF, and I also went to the Jamaican Film Festival, which is Shirley Rouse Film Festival. And I was around filmmakers. I was around producers, actors, writers, directors, and it was the first time I was really immersed into the industry, where I was meeting people who were directly in the industry that I could learn from. I always loved film, but the idea of me becoming a filmmaker came out of that experience. And I think the most ironic thing that really came out of the experience was the fact that I was traveling to these other places and meeting filmmakers from Detroit, in LA, in Jamaica, in Miami. And I was like, where is that connectivity here? How come I didn't meet them while I was here in Detroit? And so I just started to seek out other filmmakers. Once when we met other places, we stayed connected. But it was like, who else is doing what here? And so, I really have to give a shout out to Mark Casey also, because he was really one of the first independent filmmakers that did a independent film release in Detroit. And I met him at the ABFF, and he said, at that time he was from Detroit, but he wasn't connected to Detroit, and he wanted to make a film here. And so I helped out with that film, and it started rolling from there. Connected with him, connected with other filmmakers that was here in Detroit, and then we started doing our thing with skeleton crews, with folks that that we could find to piece together and make our films.
All right, so much is different. 99 doing films versus today, just due to what's digital and.
Right.
And the options, and also the channels you can distribute a film. A lot has changed. But let's even get into that whole concept of you just hitting the ground running, then saying, okay, you go from a fan of the work to saying, okay, we can kind of do this in Detroit. And then just so that people know, this is how films sometimes come together, period. Then it's like, hey, we would like you to be a producer. And we need locations, we need food, we need lights. You got this type of camera. You got film. You got a place where these people can sleep. How did it grow from a person watching a film, being at a festival, to now getting into producing?
It happened organically. And I'm going to be really transparent right now because I was so green when I first started out because I didn't go to film school, so I would learn on different sets. And at the time, when I first started learning, I was a teacher. And so when I had the summers off, I would go and live basically in another place and work on sets. So I could, really absorb and take in what it was like to make a film. And I remember, because at that time I didn't have a title, I didn't have a role, like I wasn't, a director, I wasn't a producer. And when I got back to Detroit, folks would say, I want to make a film, I need ... I would go out and find the ... Later, someone told me, and actually they didn't even tell me, I was sitting in a film that I had helped on, and in the credits, my name came up, and it had producer. I was like, what? Let me find out I'm producing. And that's honestly what that role was, right? They said producers, and then I took it, more seriously. And the more you learn, the more you grow, the more experiences that you have. And then, people always say that you have to learn the craft. You have to study the craft itself. But I was mainly producing, but still learning about other aspects of filmmaking. And eventually started writing and directing some of my own films also.
And I definitely, as you were like, we're going to do a dual interview because your husband's here in studio too. But I definitely wanted to get this story because that's what I think makes the film festival so different that you offer, because you watch the films. And I'm not saying that, and it feels as though from a fan's lens that grew into the art form. So I believe it's always different if you come in from a fan versus from theatrical training. And it doesn't mean that person from theatrical training can't make cool stuff, but it's not the same experience. Hence, what you offer is more experiential in the offering, period, because you're thinking at the end of the day always about, okay, the end user experience. This is real marketing talk for people. So the end user experience is basically, sometimes we offer whatever we're going to do. So let's say you make some amazing cookies. This is for my Detroit is Different audience. The packaging is always cool that you think about. But the end user experience is like, okay, if you know that, okay, these are the cookies I want to eat when my family gets together and it's a holiday meal. That's a different type of cookie versus the cookie where it's like, okay, all the kids going to come to my porch for trick-or-treating and this going to be the cookie I drop. So like the end user experience is thinking specifically about the functionality of it. And you not only thought about it, you were living that. You were traveling to the film festivals and then going a step further and basically like, traveling to work on sets. And like, wow, I'm in the film industry. How did your family and friends respond to like, okay, what are you doing? You could be doing summer school, or what was their take?
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? I think sometimes the arts is sometimes the hardest for your family to embrace, because like when you're a doctor or a lawyer or you have a profession that folks kind of, really understand because it's kind of high profile. Arts is that touchy-feely kind of thing, and where, folks are, well, how do you make money at it, and even with the film festival itself, I still have people ask me, well, what's a film festival? Even today, even though you have, like, they may have heard of, like some of the film festivals that are out there, but they don't know what that experience really is. So people have asked me all the time, well, what do you do at a film festival? I mean, it's obvious that you watch films, right? But what people walk away with when they're connected to the artists, especially the filmmakers, they get to hear their process and their journey, and that's what brings them in. Because it was not just about now, like I saw this movie made, but now I get to hear the filmmaker's story, and they get to talk about their journey. They get to talk more in depth about the meaning behind the films, and it really kind of raises eyebrows. And that's where we've got them right there. When people can come, have that kind of experience, And not only that, but film festivals attract people from all around the world, right? Into the city. And that was one of the main reasons we wanted to start the film festival also, is I was traveling to these other film festivals, having this great experience, but I wanted to attract people here and really be engulfed in what we have in Detroit, what Detroit has to offer. And for them to leave with, and sometimes it's their first time traveling to Detroit. And that's the best for me, because no matter what your preconceived notions are about the city, now you get to experience it for yourself. And not only do you get to experience it for yourself, you get to experience it with artists who are bringing you in, giving you an experience unlike anything you've ever had, and you leave with embracing storytelling in a different way. And so now you're able to, talk to, it connects people. The film festivals, stories connect people in a deeper way. And then folks kind of say, okay, I kind of get it now. I kind of get why film festivals are important, why storytelling is important, why, and they have a better understanding of what, artists kind of go through to create and put their soul out there to the world.
So that naturally connects to the concept of, if you're going to deliver this festival, but now you've gone through like learning as a person that loves it, and I've been on set, how did learning so much more of the movie industry, really boots on the ground, how has that helped you shape the film festival and pour into it from the lens of catering to your directors, your producers, your actors, your writers, the people that actually create the film?
What it's really done is given an opportunity for folks to not only network with one another, but to start to create with one another. And so, and then iron sharpens iron, because you have filmmakers who are very novice to the filmmakers who are extremely experienced. And so they leave with a greater knowledge of the industry and one another, and you have more content created, especially in Detroit. There has been, across the board, that's what happens. But I'm just talking specifically what has happened in our city. Folks have started collaborating more and creating, I would say, like 10 times as much content that we were creating 5 years ago. And experiences like film festivals give folks an opportunity to like network, form relationships, collaborate with one another. Because I'm telling you right now, it's too hard to make a film by yourself. And if you have a network of people that are not only supportive in helping you to make that film, but after it's created, be able to push it out to their audiences so more eyes are on it. And now, the phenomenon, that's what's happened in Detroit. We're making them here, but the films are being noticed across the U.S. and around the world now because of these streaming platforms. Because you not only have festivals now, you have these streaming platforms where people are able to showcase their work and their content on as well. Okay,
so now let's get into 57 films. That's a lot to name. People can know. What's the website? How do people connect? How do they find out about what's happening these 4 days of the film festival?
On Film Freeway. So Film Freeway, Detroit Black Film Festival. There is a link to all of the information. And it's not just the Detroit Black Film Festival, but it's a duo. It's the Taste of Black Spirits plus the Detroit Black Film Festival. And our motto this year is Cinema, Cuisine, Cocktails. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's actually cinema, culture, and cocktails.
Okay.
And so you not only get an experience with the films, but also with these African-American brand owners with Taste of Black Spirits that we've kind of merged the two and come together. So you're going to get a different experience with ours than I would say any festival that's out there.
And also black filmmaking. Mm-hmm. clearly in Detroit, it's a black city. It's going to be a lot of black filmmakers. But how have you seen that emerge over the span of the festival? Like, what have you seen from the creativity and the stories being told as a person that watches so many of these films?
What's really great is that, we're black all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about the diaspora of storytelling, that's what you're going to get also. You're going to get everything from romance to drama to sci-fi and all these different genres, but you're going to be having it told from a national and an international perspective. And so that's what is, so great about seeing the stories and coming out and experiencing a lot of the films.
Okay. What's the selection process for getting your film, a film entered into the festival?
Well, on Film Freeway, the platform that we have, films are submitted, and then we have a jury that goes through, and we watch every single film. And so there's a rating of 10 different categories, and everything from the production value to the story to all of these criteria. And it's narrowed down to like the finalists, and then the finalists go on to be the officially selected films of the festival. And then after that, we ask everyone to come in and enjoy what we've curated and put together. And we really try to think about, when we're curating the festival, putting a lot into the type of genres that we're selecting. So you have an experience where if you're a documentary film lover, we have that. If you're a racial and social justice film lover, we have that. But then we also have everything across the board. We have your comedy, we have a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of romance. So if you're coming to the festival, you there's going to be something that you're going to like.
Okay. All right. So for that filmmaker that's working on something, and that person that's looking to get in the industry, what they connect, what's the call to action for them to come? For that filmmaker, that person that wants to be in the industry, that actor, that actress, that producer, what are they going to get from this?
Well, for one, if you're, especially in, an actor, right? The directors are there. It's just networking across the board, and it doesn't matter if you're an actor, director, writer, or producer. The networking opportunity that you have at film festivals is a lot of reasons why people love the experience as well, because they get a chance to, network and learn from other filmmakers. And like I said, iron sharpens iron. A lot of times you'll see something that will also inspire you in your creativity as an artist as well.
All right. What about me? I'm a person that likes a couple movies here or there. What's the experience I'm going to get just as a person that's not in the industry, but I'm thinking about coming? What do I get?
I think it's the same entertainment value that you get as a movie lover. Being drawn to, great stories. Like you mentioned before, how are the films selected? The biggest part of the selection process is just overall quality in terms of overall like satisfaction. Like
Okay.
I'm reaching.
You said 10 different categories.
Yes.
So like the entertainment value.
That's what it
story.
is. Thank you for helping me out with that. It's overall entertainment value, right? So for the average person coming just to watch the films and enjoy the films, what's the overall entertainment value? Am I going to sit back and have a good time watching this film? So you have all these, because some of the criteria is, kind of technical, right? Was the production quality good? Was, the sound of the music or some of these technical things? But at the end of the day, you want to see a good movie. Yeah. So we say, is this film going to entertain our audience? And that's a big part of the selection process also.
All right. And last question, kids. Is there like a track for kids? Will there be children's films? How does that? Because people always are thinking like, okay, all right, got this one with me. What we gonna do?
Well, first of all, I'm a parent, so our daughter has been coming to the festival since she was like 5 years old, right? But what we do is we have a disclaimer for any block of films that has some content that is not suitable for children. We say that in the beginning. We like to say that we have films for all ages, all genres, but at the same time, if there are films, because there's some films that require a disclaimer at the beginning of the films, and we make sure that we're responsible, and we do that as well.
The kids really in like, all right, come on now. Come on now. I'm just all right, so drop. How do people connect? Give us one more time. What day, what time, how do I get tickets?
Okay, Detroit Black Film Festival, September 25th through the 29th. You can find all the information on Film Freeway, as well as the Taste of Black Spirits. Come out and join us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Detroit is Different is where you get information, artistry, history, music, and even comedy. Detroit is Different, a home for the culture of Detroit. Visit online at DetroitisDifferent.com today.